Okay, it's 9 o'clock on January 24th. This is a regular meeting of Mills County Commissioners Court. Present in the courtroom, we have Commissioners Wright, Parton, and Williams, and myself as county judge, which constitutes a legal quorum. Present via Zoom and participating but not voting or counting for a quorum is Commissioner Guerin. Also present in the courtroom, we have the county attorney, deputy county clerk, and the county treasurer. With that, we are duly convened. If y'all would join me in standing for the prayer, for the pledge and a prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioner Williams, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Bow with me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day that you have granted us. Father, thank you for the rain that you have bestowed upon our county. Father, we don't seem to be greedy, but we'd like a little bit more. Father, be with us today as we do the business of Mills County. Guide us and direct us in all our actions. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. The first item on this morning's agenda is review and approval of the minutes of January 10th. As the court had the opportunity to review the minutes, and are there any corrections or additions?
Seeing none, Judge, I make the motion that we approve the minutes as written.
We have a motion from Commissioner Williams to approve the minutes as written. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Wright. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
No.
Aye.
No.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes have been unanimously approved. Audience with individuals. Ms. Knoll, has anybody signed up to speak?
No.
Okay. Then number 4, the next item on the agenda is the accounts payable, which were distributed Friday. One thing I just want to point the court to, because we haven't seen it much, and it's worth understanding. I think it might even be the very last page. There was a large disbursement from a large being a couple of $1,000s from the hot check fund. The way that works, that's one of the duties or responsibilities of the county clerk. The county attorney who collects hot checks. The money he collects goes into the fund, and then when it is collected, certain amounts of it are distributed by the treasurer back to the underlying person that took the loss on the hot check, and the county retains fees and stuff in the fund. So that is the background on what happened, what that disbursement is from the hot check fund.
That's the deal on the SMS.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it shows the payment goes then to the vendor that took the hot check and presented the hot check to the county attorney. Mr. Hale, did I get that correct?
That's correct, Judge. I'm not going to point out in larger counties, the county attorney's office actually handles all of that. But this county attorney's office doesn't have a dedicated account for that, nor the personnel to do it. So we do it through the county treasurer. It's just a funnel through. Like the judge says, we collect the hot check money plus the fees that they have to pay too. And then the check is cut back to the retailer or whoever got the hot check for whatever amount the hot check was for, plus the return check fee. And then the fees come back to the county. Other fees come back to the county.
I have a question on page 3. It's from Mike, and maybe, but it says Mills County Distributing Company, 120M.
That
Is
is.
that tires or is that fuel?
It says blade on here, but.
That's what I was discussing.
It's not a blade, it's for a 120 M2, and it's for a radius tire, which is a Michelin. And to replace all 6 of them is around $9,000. So what I did is I bought one.
Okay, well, I just assumed that's what it was since he wasn't doing fuel, but I just wanted to double check.
No. And also that same question, Jason, is that on page 5, it says precinct 3, bulk water, or precinct bulk water, and I'm sure that's from the city. We shared that, but it's not precinct 2, it's precinct 3. Is that not correct, Dale?
Yes,
That's what
that's,
I thought too.
that's, water, bulk water
Bulk
from
water
the
on the
city.
tank. That's like what we were. I saw the invoice on it. We each one of them shared $20 fees. Precinct 3, not precinct 2.
Yeah, I was wondering how y'all bought bulk water. I was thinking drinking water when I read it, and I was like, $20, y'all got a good deal.
City will go for you.
Only other question I had is on page 7. Kearns collision. Paintless dent repair. Was that an insurance supplement or do we know, Ms. Brown?
I do not know at this time. I would assume so because we got a lot of our insurance proceeds in last fiscal year. And the story on that, the invoice is actually dated June, is that they did the repair and they weren't pleased with the work and then had to send it back. And so that's why it's taking so long to get through payables.
But it should be covered by
Should be.
insurance.
Should be.
Cause paintless dent repair is gonna be like hail damage. It's not gonna be a
It is
collision.
damage.
That's
I believe that's what Debbie told us.
Yeah,
So we withheld payment until they resolved it. And okay.
I have no more questions.
No more
Is that
questions.
what the dent repair was on page 7, Judge? Was hail repair?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Can you hear us?
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Any other questions on accounts payable? If not, is there a motion to approve them?
So moved.
A motion to approve accounts payable from Commissioner Williams. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Commissioner Parkman. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Commissioner Guerin, did you have something to add?
I think he just voted.
Oh,
I
okay.
just had a question on that page
Nope.
7 on that $12,000 repair bill.
Okay, monthly departmental reports. These just didn't make our usual first of the month consent agenda for various reasons. The tax assessor collector's report was on the table this morning. She was ill much of last week. You can see in the report collections of $165,000 for the month rounded. And $25,989 being retained by the county. And then included in our agenda package was the report from the county extension agent who was busy early in the month with the stock show. You see mileage about 540 miles on the front page. This conference in San Angelo, beef program in Abilene being the big parts, and the major events planned were, and this was the December report, so the major events were for January, where the stock show in Mills County, and then later the stock show in Fort Worth. So I would move approval of the tax assessor and county extension agent's report for December.
I'll make the motion.
Well, I made the motion, so would you, okay, we have a motion from Judge Smith, second from Commissioner Parton. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Number 6, designation of judge pro tem. This is something we do every year. I would tell you it's administrative. The guidance from TAC is judge pro tem is typically, but need not always be, your longest standing commissioner. The purpose of the function of the judge pro tem is to preside over meetings of commissioners court in the absence of the county judge. And while I don't believe I have missed a court in 3 years with COVID and everything else, it's always possible. So it's important that we have an annual designation of a judge pro tem.
We've always used Jason. He's always served that past years.
Yeah,
So they leave it that way. And
is that a motion?
just try to make a motion if it's,
Okay,
vote on it.
we have a motion from Commissioner Wright to designate Commissioner Williams as judge pro tem. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Parkman. All in favor say, well, wait, do you accept the
Yes,
unpaid
Yeah.
responsibility?
yeah.
He nodded his head, yes. So,
Okay,
That was just to you, Mike. That was.
okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous. Congratulations, Jason. Number 7 is a scrap declaration that was requested by the sheriff's office of a microwave oven in the jail kitchen. Probably dates to when we built the jail, and I'm trying to think when that was, 2016, but I don't know anything about it other than they asked us to designate this as scrap.
make a motion, we designate the Panasonic microwave. That's correct.
I second.
Okay, motion from Commissioner Wright, second from Commissioner Williams. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Scrapped it is. Number 8, consider an act on the burn ban. This is ironic that we put this on the agenda and it rains. We may have to do it permanently, but yeah, the current burn ban expires. I'm looking for the date. We did it for 30 days, so it's sometime this week. So if we take no action, the burn ban will come off. Just from observation, the county is exceptionally dry. From talking to Fire Chief Swartz last week, they continue when they do have a fire, and the fires are not being started typically by burning, but they're being started accidentally, welding, sparks from the highway. The combination of the dryness and the high wind has made it very difficult to fight. And I'm proposing that we extend the burn ban for approximately 60 days. I picked a hard day. There's a draft ban in your agenda of March 15th. That will be our first meeting in March. So we'll have it on the agenda then to act on. We'll be in spring. Hopefully everything will be wet and green and we can discuss it at that time.
I've had 2 fires out my precinct on County Road 412 and 411, so I'm all for leaving.
And I had one last week that right before that wind hit on Tuesday, Wednesday, and we fought it. And yeah, the wind was nasty. So, and believe it or not, it was in the same burn area as the Ebony or the Buffalo Creek fire. Same spot. You wouldn't think there would be enough, but all the trees that had died in that fire are all laying on the ground. And so it had a lot of fuel. So I'm agreeing with Mike.
Well, okay, let's convert our agreement into, is there a motion to,
Judge Smith,
yes, we have,
Thursday this week, our drought index was increased to the max. So we're under maximum drought index as far as Thursday this week.
yeah, there is no question about it. We're in a bad spot. Well,
I make a motion that we put, or keep the burn ban in effect until March the 15th, 2022, until it comes up Commissioners Court again.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we will, I'll sign this, have the clerk attest it, put it on the website, notify the Eagle, and send it to the sheriff's dispatcher this morning after the meeting. Next item on the agenda, number 9, is consider an act on engagement of counsel. I had anticipated this agenda running a little longer, and so our scheduling on that was at 9:30 to have counsel on a phone with us. So this is with regard to the EMS dispatching. The plan would be to, at this point, to recess for about 10 minutes, reconvene in closed session in the with our county attorney in the in the grand jury room. We will have Jim Allison available by conference call to discuss the legal issues. Once that's discussed to the court's satisfaction, we will end the closed session and reconvene back here in open session to consider an act on engagement of counsel. That's the choreography of it. Since we're live on Zoom and YouTube, what'll happen? First of all, we'll lose Commissioner Guerin. We're not set up to do Zoom in there. We will have on YouTube a slide that says Mills County Commissioners Court is an executive session and citing the appropriate government codes. And then that will come down when we reconvene. So that's the choreography of it. I would move that court recess until 9:30, reconvene in executive session in the grand jury room pursuant to Texas Government Code 571.071 to discuss potential litigation with counsel.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Court is in recess. We will reconvene at 9:30 in executive session. Okay, it is 10:16 a.m. on January 24th, 2022. Mills County Commissioners Court is returning from executive session into regular session. And we are on item 9, consider an act on engagement of counsel. And I would move approval of a retention agreement with the firm of Allison Bass.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that would unanimously approve that. Number 10, discussion of EMS dispatching. Let me start on this and then I'll lateral it to Commissioner Parton first. We had a meeting last week. I'm flipping for my attendance notes. Here in the county courthouse, I called it to try and get all the parties together. There were 2 people present from the court, 2 people present from law enforcement, 2 people present from EMS, and 2 people present from the hospital district, and then a third person, the chief of the Gulf Lake Fire Department. Here are the names. I found it. Okay, it was myself as county judge, Commissioner Parton, when we were present representing Mills County. From the sheriff's office, we had Sheriff Clint Hammond and Chief Deputy Chris Green. From the ambulance, from the EMS, we had Patrick Cobb, the director of EMS, and Wesley Alexander, the district chief of EMS for Mills and San Saba counties. And from the hospital district, we had Patrick Cobb, I'm sorry, I'm wrong name, Grady Hooper, who is the CEO of Hamilton Healthcare, and Neil Muxworthy, who is the vice president of the board of directors of Hamilton Healthcare. And we sat around a table in the grand jury room to address problems between, or trying to identify problems between dispatching and EMS so that they could separately be addressed. I put a number of problems on the table as possible problems, ranging from dispatcher workload, attitude and courtesy, radio protocol, helicopters. And we talked a little bit about possibly benefiting from a public hearing on helicopter companies. We talked about radio protocol training. But in my view, it all came down to personalities. Although what the hospital district put on the table was that the district chief for Mills County, which would be Wesley Alexander, will be the primary and only point of contact for our sheriff individually or sheriff's office and dispatchers to deal with on this problem. So that that's a new name and face. I know Mr. Alexander had not met with the sheriff before and was going to meet with him later that week. I think COVID delayed it for a day or 2, but I know he was trying the latter part of the week. And I know that Commissioner Parton, who had not seen our dispatch facility, was promised a tour. And that the meeting ended up with, from my view, with a commitment from the sheriff to give it a try working with Mr. Alexander, but with no commitment to change the deadline on his ultimatum on discontinuing EMS dispatching. Not that it might not change in the future, but in that meeting, he did not give either a temporary or any idea of when he might be willing to change it. Hospital district expressed concern that they couldn't wait till the last minute, and at some point they may be forced to to give notice. And that's where things left. We're trying a few new things, but with no commitments. And so I'm feeling a need to, and am continuing to work other possible alternatives to have multiple choices, and have talked and will have more meetings with Hamilton Emergency Dispatch and with an outfit called American Medical Response that provides commercial 911 dispatch services. Commissioner Parton, give me your call, or give the court.
That's the only thing I really have to add to that was when I asked, what the time frame with 120 days was, that it would be within some type of answer between the next week or two, that it wouldn't be at day 119. That's, I guess, positive. I may have got a little different overview. I don't think it was not a bad meeting. I don't know that it was completely was not a success either. I think that it is definitely two personality clashes. It really has nothing to do with the EMS service that we are providing or the dispatch that the sheriff's department is providing. It happens within those EMS calls. So I think it's to me a total shame that the two men had never personally met until the meeting last Wednesday or Thursday, whatever day. I think our communications have to be a little better than that personally, and not by social media. But anyway, other than that, it was, I don't guess it was what we wanted to bring out of it, but it wasn't a complete shutdown either. So that's all I've got. Probably more than that.
So are they scheduling another meeting, or y'all, is the whole group, or is it?
Well, first of all, I think part of the problem, and Commissioner Part alluded to this, is the social media angle. So I think with at least I don't know whether commitment's the right word, but an interest in trying to work on this, that we shine a little less publicity on it for a week or two, and try and let Mr. Alexander and the sheriff's office see what they can accomplish. So at this point, to answer your question, no, there's not another scheduled meeting. If this can be worked out without that type of meeting between the sheriff's dispatchers and EMS, I think that's the best possible solution. I don't think the court needs to be involved except as a last resort, which, sometimes I feel like we are the last resort. But let the people closer to the fire fight it. That's just my thought. Other questions? I think maybe we'll leave this on the agenda and provide updates as we have them.
Are you going to try, Judge, to initiate with you and Dale more meetings with our sheriff's office and also the EMS, maybe one-on-one with each one of them different?
I think there was criticism for having meetings with one party and not the other. So some of the parties felt slighted.
Well, how about getting them together?
So my plan, and he's online, but I don't want to talk about it online, is to talk to Mr. Alexander today to see if there was a meeting, if he needs help setting up a meeting, if he needs somebody present at the meeting.
I'm concerned. I want to keep the line of communications open.
I do too, but
that's the whole.
I think keeping them open is important. I don't know that the publicity on them is productive. And if the court feels this is a personality issue and someone else would like to get involved in the middle of it, invite it. But I think it's important that it just be a couple of people, not the full court. Any observations from your tour of the dispatch center, Mr. Parkin?
Yes, it's a very nice facility. I know there's jail standards. I grew up in Mills County. It's, as far as I'm concerned, as a citizen or a commissioner, it's way above jail standards. This is a pretty state-of-the-art facility. I don't personally, it may have been a lot more than what Mills County needed. Yeah.
Well, I know we looked at all of it when we first originally started, Bill. We looked at remodeling the old jail and stuff, and we'd have as much money as it and what we did building our new one. But I wanted to give the citizens of this county the best possible facility that we could, and I think that we've done that. I don't think we went over the board with our jail, but I think we're giving them a pretty good facility.
Maybe you took a tour of it, how everything works.
Oh, yeah. During the whole process, we all the commissioners at that time were involved with building the pad to the finished product.
Okay. As long as people seen the finished product, if that's what it takes to pacify prisoners in the county or the state of Texas, I think it's very equivalent to what you'd see in a state or federal prison.
Well, anymore jail standards like they are, I mean, it's just like with locks over here on the old jail. We were going to try to replace one lock, we couldn't. We had to replace them all. And of course, with our dispatch system out here, not only do they dispatch, they do jail. They'll control every door in that jail through that console where they set the dispatchers. But
yeah, basically, I think we went through one door that may have had a lock. The rest of it was push button or keypad, refrigerators for blood. To me, just a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I wish more people would be involved in our community, going in and looking at the facility.
Well, it was a little difficult for me to get a tour set up.
Yeah, it's a very secure area now that it's in operation, and there's confidential information, and it's I think we missed the window that there were public tours given when it first opened, and now it's operational. Okay, anything else we want to discuss before we move on down the agenda? And we'll discuss it again next time.
I think the efforts that y'all are making, benefits our county by shutting down and trying to resolve this. I think it's good.
Okay, commissioners requesting reports. Commissioner Wright.
We've been busy repairing some of our equipment. We've had some breakdowns. We're getting all that put back together. We've been working on County Road 429. We've been hauling material, and it's been so dry we hadn't had the opportunity to run our blades, but we're putting the material down in some spots that are in need of new material. And we did have a fire on the County Road 411. I don't think it got out too bad. I was around it, and also we did not have radios in our maintainers to talk with the fire department, and the judge gave those radios to me one day last week when we're in the process of installing them in our maintainers now. That's all I have.
Commissioner Guerin, the connection's good. Anything you'd like to say to us?
Yes, sir. I got several things. I want to tell Commissioner Wright that the shredder is in Gatesville at Carlos's hydraulic shop. I haven't been able to get parts from Diamond to fix it. He's trying to. He hasn't had any luck yet. So we may be put off on our shredder tractor for a little while. I want to thank everybody for filling in for me while I was gone. I was in the hospital for 14 days. It's Scott and White. I was in contact with the crew every day, either by text or cell phone. I'm getting better. I'm still recovering. Had a lot of calls about dusty roads and rough roads. Until we get some substantial rain, we can't fix them right. And I'm sorry if, we just don't have the water availability to do it. Been in contact with Blattner. They're almost through with their project. With Engie, been in contact with Michael Pritchard. Looks like that deal's going along pretty smooth. And that's about all I've got today.
Mr. Garrett, Commissioner Garrett, did you work to get that road agreement with, Blue Bonnet or whatever they call Swift Energy? Have you looked at it?
Would you repeat that, please?
Did you get the road use agreement from Blue Bonnet?
Blue Bonnet's road agreement.
Right. Yes, sir. I've looked at it. I don't know. We might need to get together and see if we want to add some stuff to it.
Okay, well, he just sent me that same form and wanted me to look at it because he knew you were in the hospital.
Yes, sir. I've gone over it. It looks good, but we might want to add some stuff to where they have to retop the road when they leave. It's not in this contract. It was in with Engie's on theirs up there at Caradan.
Okay, Commissioner Parkin?
Still battling with the bottom motor. The heads aren't compatible, even though that Mike said they would be. Kind of looking at the possibility of looking at budgets, see if we can come up with some money before we put a lot of money in an old truck. Another thing, I guess, is we're still hauling a little dirt out on 508 with one truck. Taking forever, trying to water some corners. Met with Jason Shirley, the road guy for Engie or Blattner's, and they've done really a good job. I think our road use agreement was a very positive deal. These people have done a lot that I didn't really expect them to. Have fixed some spots, hopefully, that were going to be definitely trouble spots. And so we're kind of going out, as far as I'm concerned, a very positive note road-wise on the project out at Brady. I guess the only other thing is we did have some busted water pipe, and their boys are working on that now. So
In the precinct one?
yeah. It won't hurt anything. Everything's concrete. It'll probably have plenty of time to dry out before it rains. But that's about all I got.
Commissioner Williams?
Several things. Road hand, I got one of my road hands out that's tested positive for COVID last week, and he's still not feeling good today. I hired a new road hand. I think everybody's already met him. I don't know if he knows a new road hand or an old road hand, however you want to look at it, right, Mike? So Robbie Hurst is back with the county. So and he's done some blading already. We put material on the approaches off of the farm market roads onto the county roads, and he got on the blade and it's like he never got off. So also report the fire that we had at Buffalo Creek. The fire started off the highway, and It was in the exact same spot as last year's big fire out there, so everybody out there panicked a little bit, but a lot of people come to the aid real quick. Had several meetings this week. They're have a meeting at the COG with Hill Country Community Action over the new executive director. That'll be this week. I had a meeting with Encore today out at the Ebony area, at the Regency area. And then Ebony is having a community meeting on Saturday. Let's see here. Dale contacted me last week and found the truck online. Dale being out Friday, and I only had one hand, We drove over to Temple and looked at this truck. I've got a copy here, and everybody can look at it. He actually had a bunch of trucks, but the one we went over there and looked for is a Sterling truck, Mike. But it's got a Mercedes engine. And doing my research all weekend and stuff. And, I think you use Central Truck and Trailer over in Brownwood too. And I know he has, and we have. I'm pretty sure Jed has used it, but they won't work on it.
I started to say,
But Mercedes, they said, no, don't even bring it here. So, it does seem to have some problems with it. It is a cheap deal, cheap price, but I've got a copy here I wanted you to look at, Mike, and got one here from Dale too. But they had another one that was a Mack, and the guys loved it. Be a great truck for all the precincts to use. It's a good, heavy, hard working truck.
you're talking about a haul truck.
A haul truck. But to use that funding that we set aside in the road and bridge money. So like for y'all to look at that, and if we have to put it on the agenda if y'all want to go forward with it, we can look at getting that. Jed's also been contacted by a company out of Waco that is going to have some trucks in the next few days that they want us to look at. Haul trucks. They're all about the same price, anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000. Our haul truck right now is down. A sensor is out in it that goes to the clutch. So we're trying to get the sensor replaced. Basically, to get to the sensor, you have to pull the cab. Just lovely electronics. So we're down. His haul truck's down. Our haul truck's down, and there's no haul trucks. So if anybody got to move something, it's kind of hard.
Oh, I had to tell you, boy, just go haul it.
Well, I have a trailer, but I don't have a dump truck. So yeah. So I put a card in front of you. I don't know if you saw that. It says Capital Truck and Trailer Equipment. It's over in Temple. He also rebuilds engines and transmissions in Dale. So if you want to take it over, that might. But anyway.
A lot of money been spent on this old equipment.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's tough.
Anyway, so after court, if y'all, I'll give y'all a copy of this so y'all can look at it and we'll go from there. And that's all in my report.
Okay,
Jason, I'd like to probably say this too, in court. I think that was a nice lunch that you provided for Kenneth Martin for his retirement. I think he appreciated that. I know we did. Thank you for that.
Well, the road hands got, except for Jason. He was out of pocket that day,
Yeah.
but all the road hands enjoyed it for sure. So. But thank you, Mike.
okay. Judge's report, I'll be brief. We had a lot of illness in the courthouse last week. We had some office closures early in the week. I think almost everybody is back today. It's just when illness starts going around in two-man departments, it doesn't take much to be disruptive and shut things down. The big item we got last summer, we asked the IT firm of Goldsmith Solutions to look over the county IT infrastructure. Now, this was in anticipation of a couple of potential projects, and just needing to know where we stood. That report came back last week. It's been copied. It was been distributed to everybody. As you might expect, it's a combination of ad hoc stuff. Everything's different. There's specific problems pointed out. The immediate larger projects are looking at a voice over IP phone system to replace the existing Frontier driven landlines, and replacements for courthouse security camera and fixing the courthouse fire alarm. Numbers are starting to come together on those. We also got another floor plan this morning for a potential EMS station. So we're continuing to try and get that far enough along to be able to hang a price on it and go out for bids or whatever we need to do. But it's still very much in the development stage. And regardless of what, this would be county owned. And so regardless of what direction we go on EMS, we need to have a place locally to put them. So those things are all underway. That's all I have. I appreciate Jackie Brooks coming in to be able to put this together and on YouTube, and would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make motion with adjournment.
You have a motion from Commissioner Wright,
Second.
and a second Commissioner Williams. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.